So on a recent post on my social media, I received a question about an individual that had a mom that was not doing so well. She's getting up in age, and the child is basically perceiving that the mom is suffering, and they're going, "What do I do to try to help my mom?" She's not necessarily asking for help, but at the same time, I feel kind of pity for her because she's going through so much suffering. What do I do? Well, here's what I would say. First of all, make sure and rule out that your mom is not doing exactly what she needs to do in order to get your attention, to get you to go and be there for her. Because sometimes people, when they're by themselves and they're up in age, they'll find a strategy in order to get and surround themselves with people they care about. And sometimes if they show that they're doing great, the kids stay away. If they're showing that they're having problems, the kids are there for them. Because people tend to rescue people that are down instead of and try to bring and basically cut down people who are up. Tall poppy syndrome in Australia they call it. So make sure it's not a strategy. Now that seems kind of cold at first, but believe it or not, um, I have to say that I have to see this in a very high percentage of people. Parents figure out ways, just like kids know how to manipulate parents to get what they want. Parents have figured out many years on how to get what they want. And so make sure that the suffering is really suffering. There's a biological reason for the suffering and not just a strategy to keep the kids doing things for them. Uh, my wife, when she was alive, um, she made sure that when she cooked, it didn't go well, so she made sure I took her out to dinner. Um, so she would fumble things and do have difficulty sometimes in the kitchen, and I told her, I said, "Look, this is too much hassle. Let me just take you out to dinner." And so she didn't have to cook but twice. So I'm not saying that's what's happening, but just be on the lookout just in case first. Because people will do things, everything that people do is a strategic thing that's conscious or unconscious. Now, if there is suffering and they're in agony and there's some biological benefits or biological reasons for it that we can see that's evident, there's been injury or there's been, there's some sort of disease that's causing these things, then fine. But don't assume without asking. Ask, Mom, how specifically would you like me to handle this situation that you're describing? Would you, what are you really saying here? What would you love? Because you don't want to impose on them your will without asking what their will is. Sometimes they don't want to burden you, and you going out of your way and trying to fix things for them, everything else, they feel it's a burden, and that's actually more of a burden for them. So ask them. I would confront them, make sure that it's legitimate, not just an unconscious or conscious motive to get you to be around. Then I would make sure if it is something that's a serious issue that's there and they're suffering, make sure they really want your help. Don't just assume. Make sure they want it because they don't want to burden. Some people don't want to burden. I wouldn't want to burden my kid. I wouldn't stop them from their lives. That's not my preference. So make sure it's there. And then if so, honor what they want. If they're cognizant and they're capable of making decisions, find out what they want and then maybe help them do what they want. Or in some cases, find specialists to help them do what they want. If you're not the specialist that can take care of what their needs are, then get the specialists and help them get somebody. Sometimes people go out of their way. They think, well, I'm the one that needs to rescue them, and they're feeling guilty that they owe something to somebody. And the real truth, the most valuable thing you could do is get somebody that knows what the hell they're doing and can help them, truly help them, and knows and has skills and loves doing it. So you have somebody that's really doing it. Because if you're not really inspired to do it, you're going to burden yourself, and then you're going to resent them, and they're going to feel it. And then they're going to feel burdened that they're burdening you. So first, find out if it's real. Second, and not just a strategy. Second, make sure it's something they really want. Don't impose it on them. And ask and care that way. And then beware of sacrificing your life if you're not the real quality person to take care of the issue. Because sometimes you're better off doing what you really love to do and paying for somebody to do it. And then when they're taking care of some of those, you sit down and have high quality time with the individual. So prioritize your time, prioritize your own values, and make sure that it's really something that they want. If you do that, you might find that your mom doesn't want what you want or what you think she needs, and she may have a whole different agenda. Find out. I remember one time I saw my mom sitting in a retirement place, and she was just quiet and eyes closed and just looking down. I said, "Are you okay, Mom?" She said, "Yeah, I'm dreaming. I'm fantasizing about a trip I took years ago." And I thought, so I thought you were looked like you were, depressed or something. She goes, "No, I'm having a great time in my mind." So don't assume, ask questions, confirm, find out what the real agenda is, find out what they really want, and make sure it's something you both can win by.